Hey everybody, David Chang here, and welcome to video 4, which is step 4, Action is Power, Making Your Dreams a Reality. In this final video, I'll be going over step 4, which is the final step of the 4-step system. And I do appreciate how many of you are excited about the course. It is live for you. You can go ahead and sign up for it for a limited time. I was honored by so many of the emails and response that I had, and I look forward to continue working with each one of you. And I hope that you join the Smart Nation and just delve a lot deeper into what I have touched the surface on. In this video, one of the things I'm going to show is a really cool trick on how to cut your mortgage payment in half without changing the terms on your loan or talking to the bank or refinancing. A lot of people don't know about this, and here's another thing I'll show you is how you could double your investments in half the time. It's not that people can't do it. It's just that people don't know, and that's what I want to teach you in this course is these little tips that you can do immediately, super easy, that will save you literally hundreds of thousands of dollars, and in some cases millions of dollars over 20, 30, 40 years with the things that I'm teaching you. So the course is now live, and for those that want to get started on the path now, click on the links below to get started. The course is open for 1 week from today, and I'll be closing registration after that. And the reason is there are limited seats because I want to teach portion of the course live. I do want to take time to answer. I've done this before where many of you, I want you to get the time you need and ask me anything. My team, we're going to be there for you. And when I had too many people, it just got overwhelming and I wasn't able to get the service that each of you deserve. So that's why I'm going to be cutting it short. And if I do get a lot, I may have to cut it shorter before the week. So go ahead and take advantage of it. Sign up now before I do close it. And I'll be talking some great bonuses that you get. I really believe after doing so many courses, books, and everything, and talking to so many of the wealthiest, the best investors in the world, this is the most powerful wealth building system out there. And why? Well, this course is committed to one primary outcome. Is for you to get rich, stay rich, pass it on, and set you up so you have an income for life without having to work again. And this is true financial freedom, to have the quality of life you deserve today and what you desire, and also for future generations. And this is not just about money. If you've gone through the first 3 videos, you know it isn't. It's really about showing gratitude and about how you can fulfill your purpose. And when you have financial freedom, that frees you up to do that. By the end, I want you to live like the 1%, have the financial peace of mind from knowing that you're not going to outlive your money. No, even if you started late. I actually had somebody in their 60s start it, and you're going to live to 90, 95. So you know what? That's 30, 35 years that we can do a lot with. And I want you to answer confidently, will you have enough money to live the way you want to live and not worry about it? That's probably the biggest fear I get from people. And when you do this, you will know exactly for sure. And the answer, when you do everything, is going to be yes. That's the goal that I have for each one of you. So when you're done with this course, what's going to happen and so what of everything? Well, one, I'm going to teach you how to create a guaranteed stream of lifetime income without having to work. And that's true financial freedom. Guaranteed. Like nowadays, if you don't get a pension, you're not going to get this. But I'll show you how you can do that. And it's going to be good. Create your smart, perfect 10 investment portfolio for you, one that matches the benchmark model for wealth that lasts that the wealthy truly have. And we'll create a personalized lifestyle financial plan. And this is really cool. You're going to be very amazed by this, I promise. And that's why you can enjoy life today and not have to worry about tomorrow when this is done. And you're going to have the right financial foundation. That's super important because if you don't have this, it doesn't matter how much money you make. And this is how you're going to build wealth and learn the true secret to wealth and money. And at the end, you'll have that feeling of freedom, empowerment, having more options, mastery of your finances, helping your loved ones and those in need, and feeling alive and complete fulfillment. That's what we want in life. And it's not that we want money, it's what money can do. And this is the goal so that we can live out our purpose. How the course is structured for those that you join, I hope you join immediately. And it's 4 modules each step, and I have multiple lessons, 5 to 6 lessons per step, per module. And there's going to be workbooks that come with it and other downloadable resources. And it's going to be, I want you to tackle each of the lessons in order. And that's why, because I've done this before, and even me being on the other side, I'm going to, so you're not overwhelmed, because that's what usually happens. You'll see all of these steps, lessons, lessons and you just kind of like, oh no, what do I do? And in the end, a lot of people freeze up. So what I'm gonna have is that each lesson, once you sign up, and automatically it'll do that for you, it's gonna be scheduled where you get 1 or 2 lessons every day. Take the time to do it, and you want to build up on each one of them. That's very important. And studies show that this is one of the best ways to learn is when you're consistent. You go through it without having to binge study or try to go through everything at once. You want to pace yourself and really take the time to learn this. All of the trainings are 100% online. You got 24/7 access. You can review each lesson as often as you want. And as soon as you sign up, bam, you can go in, get the first step done, and there's no waiting. That's what's so cool about it. Now, I'm not going to have you do all 8 hours at once because really you don't learn that way. Studies have shown that it's best. You got 30, 45 minutes. You got the exercise. Take the time and do it. Reflect on it. And then the next day, you just continue to do that. And so by the end of a few weeks, you'll have all of the lessons out there. And if you've done it by pacing yourself, it's good because you're building up on each one of them. You have a full year to work through the program at your own pace, and I'll be continuing to add to this, and you get full access to all the updates that I make throughout the year, so that's pretty exciting. You'll get access, again, to the most powerful planning software, and I've studied all of them. There's robo-advisors out there, and this is one for 7 years has been ranked by the top financial advisors in the world, and you can only get it through financial advisors, but I'm giving access to you, and I've worked it out with them that those that are Smart Nation members are able to do so. And then you can create your personalized financial and investment plan. At the end, I'll show you a little how it looks like, and I absolutely promise you'll be amazed by what it can do. I've also created a trainer-supported Q&A member private Facebook page where my team will be present to answer your most pressing questions. I'll be checking it every day. And this is a forum is only for those that sign up. I don't want anyone to join. I want it those that are serious. And we really have good times to interact, discuss with one another. And one of the things that you'll learn is group engagement is one of the best ways that you will get the materials. And I want you to share your success stories. And I'll be on there answering any of the questions, which is awesome because that forum is extremely powerful that we learn from each other. My knowledge plus your knowledge and everyone else's knowledge, that's true success. And as I mentioned, it's only offered for a limited time. There's going to be 2 sections. You can be a self-study and then the Mastery VIP member. Now, these, everybody is, to me VIP, but for these, those that are the VIPs, you're going to get a personal review by me for your financial and your investment plan, so I can make sure that you're on the right track. And there's going to be a lot of other things I'll show, and you can even read through it kind of in the custom tables of what each of the differences are. But here, if you want more one-on-one time with me, then you want to do the Mastery VIP, and I'll walk you through a lot of the stuff that we're talking about. And here's what I want to do, because I don't want people to think like, oh man, he's just trying to make money or anything. That's not the case. And you're going to show that I'm not making much. I'm doing this to just kind of, cover my costs, but each of you are going to win out significantly. But just so I'm putting where my money with my mouth is that when you sign up, right, it's going to be risk-free for 30 days, as in you'll go ahead and you'll make the first payment on it just so I know you're serious. And after 30 days, if you're thinking, hey, you know what, and by then you'll have access to the entire course, you have seen everything. If you say, you know what, this is not for me, guess what? Go ahead, you can ask for a refund, and the bonuses that I get and even the financial plan that you get from that 30 days on creating your investment plan, financial plan, you get to keep all the bonuses. That's a good thing because I really believe that you're going to like this so much that you're going to have to say, you know what, I want to stay with it, and you're going to see all of the extras. I'm going to continue to add. Every month I'm going to add something that's very valuable to you. But again, this is risk-free with my SMART guarantee. Really, I'm going to describe a little bit towards the end after I go through the steps real briefly and talk about the 4-step and the tips I recommended. But why this is actually worth, I put 15,000 here, but, just kind of looking through it, clients are paying 25. Some that I know are paying 100,000 and more for their advisors. These are the wealthiest. And because I got information from them, I'm handing it over to you. So it's almost as though people pay 100, $200,000 to pay for a lot of this advice. I learn it and I live it and I help others, and then I'm giving it to you at such a discount rate. It's almost as though I had somebody kind of get angry at me that it was so this low. But you'll see what I'm trying to do and the reason why I want you to take this. I don't want a price to be a barrier, because just you can make and save tens of thousands of dollars immediately just by the things that I talk about. So that's what this is about, the 4-step system. Solutions, they're not suggestions. I want you to be able to take them and they work, not just, well, it's a suggestion, I hope it works. It's nothing like this. This absolutely does work. So we talked about step 1 in the first video, and you have access to this, and I'm going to be taking down probably within the week after today all the training videos as well, so you can watch it again if you want to. Where step 1 is how to develop the smart money mentality, and we talked about this is the secret to wealth, where wealth is an attitude, it's a way of thinking, state of mind, it's a mindset and a frame of mind. And the reason this is important is you have to understand and master yourself before you attempt to master and understand money. Your income won't be able to keep you where your mindset can't hold you. That's why Mike Tyson made $300 to $400 million and he declared bankruptcy, because if he had the mindset, and from what I understand now, he's gone a lot better. But a lot of people who became very wealthy quickly that didn't have the mindset initially, that's when they blew the money. And so it doesn't matter how much you make, it matters how much you can keep, and your mindset is what holds that money. You are wealthy as your mindset makes you. And I talked about the different types of wealth. And I'm going to go a lot more in depth in the course of each different type of wealth and what you can do to increase them. And that right there, I think, is so valuable because, again, education is so important, and knowing what we don't know can really change our lives. No amount of money will ever make you wealthy or completely satisfied. That's a myth. So the secret to true wealth is contentment. And when I mean a myth, I mean that a lot of people say wealth equals your net worth, which equals your self-worth. A myth is that no, your money and your wealth and your self-worth are not, that's not true at all. The secret to true wealth is contentment, appreciation, and gratitude for life. This is a truth. It has nothing to do with the dollar figure. And that's why the most important decision you can make in life is to make the commitment to be wealthy now, not someday in the future. Now, step 2 we talked about is charting your path, is creating smart money strategies. Now that we have the smart financial foundation, it's time to come up with smart plans of action and create your financial blueprint. And you know your financial numbers when you do this. You know how much you need, how much you can spend. You can address your fears about market crashes, inflation, health, long-term care, and healthcare, and a lot of other costs that are out there, unknowns. And you can automatically compare the best strategies for you. And the financial plan software does all of this. And one of the things is like, when do I take Social Security? That's one of the top questions I get. This plan, you input your numbers, it'll calculate for you, which is really cool. The reason this is important is because smart strategies bring clarity, and clarity brings power. And I talk about power, when I mean it is not like a tight-fisted power. Power as you're coming from a position of strength, not weakness. Because when you come from a position of strength, you are able to make better decisions. Now, how do you create these money strategies? You only have to do, good news, is to answer 3 simple questions. Where am I now? This is about knowing yourself, your current personal financial status. Where do you want to go? Your mission, vision, SMART goals that you're setting. How will I get there? We talked about the formula for financial freedom, comprehensive financial planning, the financial planning pyramid, life cycle planning. You could see the other video. I go a lot more in depth on it. And again, the financial planning software does a lot of this for you, which is really cool. And this is kind of the gambit. Briefly go over where you have 4 phases, and you want to make decisions that are good for all 4 phases, because a lot of advisors only look at it from one vantage point, either the insurance side, tax, or education, or estate, or retirement. It may be a good decision there, but it may not be a good decision when you look at it in terms of the entire comprehensive picture. That's why it's so important that you do this. Now, many people may be thinking, okay, you know what? I can get this online. What's the difference between you and the other ones? Well, everyone has an opinion, but they rarely work, because a lot of financial experts are salespeople just pushing an investment or insurance product because they're trying to make a commission. But there's a difference between pushing a product and doing what these richest people in the world have done, many of them, self-made billionaires, financial giants, Nobel laureates, where they produce superior results in up in markets and down markets decade after decade. And can we learn what they did? A lot of people say, no, you can't. But yes, we can. And I will show you the smart success factors and how you can replicate it as well. And so I divided this into 4 simple steps, and you get complete access to the most powerful tools that I talked about. And because life gets in the way, I automate this, and the financial plan does updates for you automatically. So really what happens is that it automatically, through the methodology of the software, produces the solution. It says, here are your goals, here's what you have. It automatically produces what you need to do to get to them and spits it back out. And you can play around with it, saying, well, if I want to change this and not that, what happens? And it's not cookie cutter. Everybody's different. So many of the other programs out there, they're cookie cutter. Is everybody can have, there's many people that can have the same thing. All you do is you take a test. Maybe there's 20 different, variables. Maybe I've seen even 5, 6, and you have 1 million people do it, and 1 million are divided by 6. So you're really not that different from a lot of people, and that's a problem because we're so different. And what I'm creating is customized to you, not just a cookie cutter solution. You set it, then forget it. And once you're done, you're done. After your plan is in place, you only have to spend a couple of hours a year. And the reason it's not set it, forget it forever, because you want to make sure you're still on course, because things change. Your life changes, the market changes. But what happens is you go back to it, you'll see how the changes updated your plan. If everything is good to go, great. If not, it'll kick back again, recommendation that you should make. And we talked about that we're going to be focusing on the confidence zone, where it's a probability of success. So you want to be in that zone, because then you're confident that you can meet your goals. So step 3 was putting your money to work, choosing the smart money investments. And we talked about that investing in the last video is putting your smart money to work for you. It's trading time for money. It's trading money for time, not time for money. And it's not gambling or get rich quick schemes. That's what people think investing is. It's not. And that's why day trading in money times is not investing. It's gambling. And that's what so many people lose. And in the end, the purpose of what we're doing is that you have lifetime income without working. So you and your future generations are financially free. It's like your personal ATM machine. Wouldn't that be so awesome? So the most important decision that we talked about when it comes to investing is setting up the asset allocation. I'm going to breeze through this. You can see the last video if you want to go a little bit more in depth. And this is where anybody can become wealthy, but your asset allocation is how you stay wealthy by creating the optimal mix of smart investments. So we talked about how you can make money in the stock market through these 4 ways, right? Timing the market, because some other factors, security selection, and asset allocation policy. Well, guess what? You know what? Your asset allocation policy makes up 91.5%. Selecting the right stock and buying and selling at the right time makes up for less. In fact, David Swensen, who's Yale's chief investment officer and took a couple billion over to almost 30 billion, says that asset allocation actually explains more than 100% of returns in the investment world. Why? Because the fees, taxes, and losses that come with stock picking and market timing drag profits. So that's amazing how asset allocation is so important. I'm going to be going over, for those that join the course, the modern portfolio theory. And really what it means is that you have risk and reward. You have this line, and the higher up you go is the more risky. The further right you go is higher reward. And each dot represents a different combination of asset allocation to portfolio. And this line is what we call the efficient market frontier. Now, I know this may sound like Greek, but here's the important thing to note, is that you want to be on the line because that's the maximum return that you will get for every level of risk. And if you're below the line, just like that dot there, it means you're not optimized. You either have too much risk or not enough return. And when I analyze portfolios, so many are below the line. And when you join instantaneously, when you connect your accounts to the software, it'll tell you if you're below the line and what you need to do, which is really cool. That's why I'm so excited about it. So we have this emotional spectrum that we want to be balanced. We don't want to be less emotional or more emotional. We want to create smart, riskless reward investments. This is the asymmetric, where I said you can risk a little to get a lot, We have the 3 investment types, the 3 investment tests, the investment buckets, and then the 2 paths of wealth that we talked about, the path of stability and then the path of renewal, where this set right here, all of this is what the wealthy do and why they still remain wealthy and continue to be wealthy. And so many of us have the capabilities to do this, but we don't. And I talked about the Forbes 500. How did they get there? Well, they started, owned a business, energy, real estate. Some inherited, they were lucky. And usually we think that there's only 3 ways to make money: stocks and bonds, we can get insurance, or the bank. But there's actually something called business operations, where these are risk alternative investments. And they're called direct partnership programs, which allow you to participate in the 3, number 1, 2, and 3 on the left that we talked about. How do you participate in the Fortune 500? Because large endowments, the biggest investors, ultra high net worth, they use these strategies. So why shouldn't you? The best investment you could ever make, that's yourself. You learn to work harder on yourself than your profession. You become extremely valuable in the marketplace, and you invest in and increase your different types of wealth. Because right here, even though if Warren Buffett lost everything, he can make $1 billion again because he's so good at what he does. Now, part of your investing strategy, again, we talked about is income. That's financial freedom, and you want to make sure you lock down the exact income you need and want. And we do this through income insurance investments. I'll show you, for those that join the course immediately, how you can get guaranteed principal and income for life, upside growth potential without the downside, and it's tax deferred. We're going to create your money machine where we achieve that critical mass where you have enough money that it's going to be giving you that income you need without drawing it down too much and you're afraid of losing money. And then part of it is when you take Social Security. So when you put it all together, we create the perfect 10 investment portfolio that matches the benchmark model for wealth that continues to reuse itself, lasting forever. And this right here is what a good portfolio looks like. And again, you know what? Everybody's different, so I'm not saying right now this is what you need to do, but this is a little bit of each asset class that I really like and recommend. And for those that join the course, I go in depth on each one, and I'll show you which investments, if it's right for you and you become a Smart Nation member, then we can be able to help you on this side. And then WealthBridge, my wealth management firm, on that side, with knowing your situation. Again, if you become a VIP member, we'll be able to directly help you and help you what we do for our clients. So here's Smart Step 4. And then after I go through this, I'll show you a little bit about the course and why you should start this now, because it's going to change your life. This is Smart Action is Power and Smart Implementation. What does this mean? Well, we got the core, step 1, the smart money mindset. We got step 2, creating smart strategies. Step 3, choosing smart investments. And now is a smart implementation. We need all 4 at once to be that strong core and really to be able to bust through anything out there. And you know what? There's that myth, NBC, the more you know, knowledge is power. Well, that's actually a myth. Knowledge is actually potential power, because it's not power until you execute it, right? You can know everything in the world, but if you don't do it, it doesn't mean anything. So we want the smart knowledge plus the smart execution, smart power. And that's what this step is about, is how to implement it smartly. So I want to talk briefly about here, creating wealth is more than just crunching numbers, saving money, investing. It's based on the psychology of the wealth. What's step 1, the money mindset. And 90% of the journey is that step 1. The other 10% is now the mechanics, a smart implementation. Why do I put such a heavy emphasis on the psychology of wealth? Well, because you need to cultivate this mindset that gives you resiliency. It's the ability to appreciate life no matter the obstacles and challenges you face. Then you can implement smartly the smart steps to create the guaranteed income for the rest of your life without having to work and having the freedom to do what you want. And this is behavioral finance, where it's a relatively new field that combines finance and economics with psychology. Well, Daniel Kahneman was awarded in 2002 for the Nobel Prize for behavioral economics. He was actually the second psychologist to receive the economics prize. And part of his insight was his recognition of the important role of emotion and intuition on how we make decisions, which in certain situations leads to mistakes. That's not smart implementation. So BeFi in action is designed to help you better understand the psychology of emotions that affect your smart implementation. And in the course, I'll go in depth on how this is super simple. It's just that if you know your behavioral finance, you really don't have to do much and it's done for you. So Kahneman uses a framework of two minds to describe how we make decisions. The intuitive mind is where we make decisions and judgments quickly without really thinking about it. And we have a reflective mind, which is a slow, analytical, and requires conscious effort. Most decisions we make are from the intuitive mind, and the reflective mind accepts it even if it's wrong, because the intuitive mind is so powerful that it can override any attempt by the reflective mind to see the truth. This is why our emotions get in the way, and we're not always logical, rational, or as disciplined as we would like and need to be. So these mental shortcuts that intuitive mind makes us successful to is what leads us to make mistakes, especially when it's with our money and it's very hard to help ourselves. So we have people who hold stocks that lose too long because selling a stock is extremely hard for us to bear because it brings a reality of loss to mind. And then on the opposite end, people often sell winning stocks too soon because the act of selling a winning stock realizes a gain that gives us pleasure. This is BeFi. So how do we use it to our advantage when it comes to smart implementation, saving and investing our money? Well, do you remember in the earlier videos, I showed this case study on the SMART program, and this was in the second video. And what it was, a case study 20 years ago that, okay, they went to a workplace and said, hey, we're going to start saving 10, 5, or 3% of your income, which is not much, especially 3%. You pay yourself first. And you're going to commit to saving 3% more when you get a pay raise, right? So the percentage saved goes up with each pay raise. And because you never had that pay raise in the first place, it really doesn't seem like you're missing or losing anything. So again, using BeFi for you instead of against you. So what they saw in 1998 to 2002, every year it went up from 3.5 on average to 13.6. And this is what you can buy, right? Shoes all the way up to a car. And so employees who thought they could afford it were saving 5 years later 14%, with 65% saving 19% of their salaries. And so part of what BeFi, and this is a smart implementation, is you create a contract, either with yourself, an advisor, or partner, and part of step 4 in the course, I'll show you the different types of financial advisors. There's something called suitability, which really isn't the best, and fiduciary, which is acting in your best interest. How you can find a fiduciary advisor, and how you can even get a complimentary analysis without costing you anything to see, get a second opinion, just like you would do in health. And so part of this implementation contract is you're going to admit, right, your intuitive mind and how it affects your decisions. That's step 1, right? And you're going to create and commit to a plan of action. That's step 2, a part of the process. And then next, after you have that, is we're going to pre-commit to begin investing now, increasing it as a specific date in the future, right? So this is steps 2 and 4 that we talked about. Paying yourself first, having it taken out of your account so you didn't even think about it. The second part of this contract, now these numbers are, I told you why we need the contract, and now what's going to be in it, is we'll agree on the size and frequency of the periodic investments. That's the dollar cost averaging we have from video 1. And then how much you're going to increase it every pay raise so that you're not emotional. You're going to just increase it. Doesn't matter what the market does. That's part of steps 2 and 4. You can see how they're all interrelated, right? Step 3, you're going to choose in advance your smart investments. So you're not going to be choosing like security selection. You already have the asset allocation. You're going to choose it no matter what. Then here's what we're going to do on 4 is discuss and agree what action will be taken. Let's just say that the markets move 20% up or down so you don't make an emotional short-term decision. Going back to steps 2 and 4. We'll monitor and rebalance the smart diversified portfolio back to its target mix so that we're still on the line, right? So what happens is when the balance gets out of whack, you're no longer on the efficient frontier. You're either below it or you're too far right? And you can't be above the line, only below. And so we want to make sure that we balance to get back up there. So that's great. That's that contract that you see right there. Now, part of this, and this is where we'll go back to the mortgage thing, which is pretty exciting, is I want you to speed up your goals. And here's how we're going to speed it up. Is the first thing is we're going to save more and invest the difference. Wherever you're out there, there are some expenses that you don't need cut back. And I'm not going to spend too much time on here because I want to go straight to the mortgage. Here's the thing. The reason is the mortgage is usually our biggest expense that we have. And this is the banker's secret. How do banks make so much money? Right? Because your interest payments tack on more than 100% of your loan. So if your house is $500,000, you're going to be paying over the life of the 30-year mortgage, if that's what you have, almost over $1 million. In the first several years of your payments, 80 to 90% of it is interest, right? Maybe even more. It's ridiculous. People don't know this. It's not half interest, half principal. It's majority interest, and as time goes on, that's when you pay your principal. So how can you cut this down so you can save more and invest a difference? Well, here's one thing you do. We're going to prepay your next month's principal by cutting your mortgage payment in half. So you're going to write a second check for the principal only portion of it. And then if you do this, you could pay off your 30-year mortgage in 15 years. This is called pocket change prepayment. So you have to pay this money anyway, so why not do it a little bit earlier? So here's an example. $270,000 home, and you have a 30-year mortgage, and let's just say the interest is 6%. Your monthly payment is $1,618, and $270 of it is principal. The remaining is interest. So what you're going to do is you're going to you pay the $1,618, and you're going to send another check of $270 and let the bank know you're going to be sending next month's principal. And because you're going to be paying it earlier, you're not going to pay interest on this. So when you do this every month, right, there's going to be a bigger chunk of money that you're not paying interest on it. So when you continue to pay it forward, you cut a 30-year mortgage in half, and it doesn't matter how much. How awesome is that, right? Here's another thing that we're going to do to speed it up. Reduce your fees and taxes, and then invest the difference. So let's just say you have a $100,000 portfolio, 7% return, you're 35 years old. 30 years later, if you have a 1% fee, it's almost $600,000, about $575,000. 2% fee, $432,000. If you have a 3% fee, it's $324,000. Oh, it's like almost half, right? Now, let me just say something. Some fees are good if you're going to pay an advisor for what they're worth, right? You're going to pay someone like Warren Buffett a couple of percentage points if that's what he requests to get the returns that he is. But I'm going to show you in the course that most don't do that. So there's a way that you cut back on fees that are bad, and some fees, right, you want to still be reasonable, that you want to pay for what you get. And the difference between these are the fees. That's why it's so important that you pay the smart fees. All right, so how do you cut your, get your investments, get it done, double it quicker? So here's something. How many years does it take to double your money? We do something called the rule of 72. And what we do is you take 72 and divide it by the interest rate. And so let's just say you have a portfolio return of 8%. What you do is you take 72 divided by 8, 9 years. So if you get 8%, it'll take your portfolio, doesn't matter how much, 9 years to double. So let's look at an example. You get 8%. A lot of people are in the 50% tax bracket when they add their federal and state. So you're getting only 4% if you think about it. So that means 18 years, 72 divided by 4. So what do? Smart tax planning and efficiency. That means we don't pay taxes, so we could double our money in 18 years. Instead of 18 years, you do it in 9. We do this through qualified accounts, right? Long-term capital gains versus short-term. So we want to take advantage of that instead of paying ordinary income. There's tax credits, deductions, trust, tax-free investments, business entities, tax loss harvesting. These tactics I'm going to show you in the course of what you can do to save money. Now, if I'm going to show you a lot of tips like this, right, I'm going to really be getting you a better investment return, earn more money. And these are just a couple of the dozens that I'm going to show you. And just by taking this advice, you're going to save hundreds of thousands of dollars on your mortgage, on your tax-free returns, saving money here and there. And if you think about it, if you can imagine what you're saving now, imagine what you could save with the 4-step course. And so I will teach you and give you what you need to accomplish this so you can live a life of financial freedom. You want to be wealthy. You want to be financially free, and you know the 4-step system will help you get these results just from what I've shown you. So that's why you'll love what I've created after years of smart research and experience. And best of all, I'll be continuing to add to this with the most up-to-date financial investment information that you have access to for a full year. Every month, I'm meeting some very fascinating people, super smart, and I'll learn from them and I'll add to what I think is great. So if you thought these free training videos and exercises were helpful, then you really are going to enjoy becoming a Smart Money member. And as I mentioned before, this is the most powerful wealth building system, and it's worth more than $50,000. I just want to be conservative here, but I'll tell you why it's more, because I know there's people paying up to $100,000 for the financial advice and information that I'm going to give you. And why? Because the money you can earn and save is going to be hundreds of thousands, in some cases millions, of just doing what I teach you. Over 30 years, you can save potentially millions of dollars. And not only that, the money you won't lose from mistakes, right? That millions make every day is also worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. So it's going to be a double whammy where you're going to make more and also make less mistakes. So you're going to save more. That's what we want. All right, so this is how the course looks, and there's 2 components, as I mentioned. You have a self-study program, and it's 3 payments of $197. That's absolutely nothing. If people are paying $100,000 and you're going to get it for $197 for 3 months, oh my goodness, right? And then there's mastery payments, $397 for 3 months. That's absolutely nothing too. And if you want to pay in full, you'll save money, $94 on the self-study, and for the Mastery VIP, $194 if you pay in full. And there's a 30-day money-back guarantee, as I mentioned. So you want to choose what's good for you. Let me briefly go over each one of these, right? So you'll get 10 hours of training, each of the modules, multiple lessons that you can get started immediately, PDFs, cheat sheets, resource guides that you'll get. There's going to be the trainer-supported private Facebook page that we talked about, and you can see this underneath the video that I have there. You'll get the member area with 24/7 access. This lifestyle financial plan is so cool. I mean, your heavy lifting is done for you. It'll calculate your confidence zone. It'll create your personalized solution for you automatically. You'll understand easily through the visual summary your progress. You could play around with it. It's really fun where you just slide with the slider and you can have different scenarios to see what scenario you like and compare with others. You'll see if there's a bear market crash, how will it affect your portfolio, and it'll give you recommendations on what you can do to protect it. You'll see the best Social Security strategy and every dollar, your cash flow for the next, until your age 110, 120. You'll also get asset allocation plan. You know how I talked about it? Well, if you become a Mastery VIP self-study member, you'll see that I've created these portfolios. And again, it has to be right for you. And I'll talk more about that when you join the course. And you'll input yours. If you don't have one, it'll tell you based upon your risk what you want, because you want to be optimized and get the maximum returns given your risk tolerance. And if you don't know, this will tell you what you need to do, where you're at now, and help you create a plan of action. Remember I talked about lifetime income is important? Well, guess what? That's what this will also create, is your lifetime income plan, is how much money can you withdraw without running out of money? And your report will help you answer this question. And again, I'm going to show you guaranteed ways that you can participate in market gains and not lose money when the market goes down. That's what's so cool. There's this really powerful budget, account aggregation, and financial calculator. So what you do is you're going to aggregate. You're going to input all of your financial accounts as secure, your bank account, credit cards, investments, and imports everything. It'll track how you're spending real time, 360 degrees with the different categories, and it'll automatically download it, so it gives you your confidence zone based upon how the market is done, based upon how much you're spending, and it's only a few easy clicks. That's what's so cool about it. You'll even get, wow, this is a lot, huh? This is why it's worth so much money. A life, disability, or long-term care needs analysis. How do you know if you have enough life insurance? Or how do you know if you have enough disability or long-term care? This will help you figure that out. It'll help you automatically know what you need to cover your needs and the effect it has on your investment portfolio. Now, this is where it separates the Mastery VIP with the self-study. So for the Mastery VIP, you're going to get a estate plan analysis where, based upon trust, different gifting strategies, you want to get a basic analysis of your estate and the important benefits of implementing common estate strategies. Because if you don't do it right, your government will take a lot of it, and you want to make sure that your wishes are respected, right? You're going to get at least 3 live coaching calls and webinars with me. So I'll let everyone know for those that are VIP, and I'll be answering questions real time. And I'm going to give you some secret training tips also in addition to this. So that's really cool. And it's a good way to connect with me a little bit more. I'll give you a personal review of your lifestyle financial plan, right? So I want to make sure that it looks good, that if there's something you may have missed, and then even your investment portfolio. So at this stage, I'll put on my WealthBridge hat, and I'll let you know how that happens when you join the course, and I'll actually be able to give you advice on the investment side, since I'll be putting my WealthBridge advisory hat on. So you can see why people pay so much for this advice, and that you're getting an incredible deal. This is also why I am limiting the number of people in closing registration. I made a mistake here, not after a month, after a week. Remember, after a week. And there's a smart guarantee again. 30-day money-back guarantee, no questions asked, and you get to keep the bonuses. That's what's really cool. And what are these bonuses? Well, you get 3 of them. 1, you'll get my top ebook, very popular, on the smart secrets of the wealthy, where you can learn how the smart wealthy think, invest, and strategies they use. We'll look at the smart bonus 2, which is Napoleon Hill. He's one of the greatest authors out there. Think and Grow Rich is considered to be one of the most famous wealth books, and you're going to get it for free. 3 of them. The Law of Success, Grow Rich, and Peace of Mind, 3 of Napoleon Hill's best books. And also my other ebook, How to Start a Smart, Successful Business, Being an Entrepreneur. I'm going to tell you how you can even start it with very little money on the side to bring additional sources of income. So I'll teach you a lot of stuff there. I'm going to spend the last couple of minutes of showing what the smart portal login, what does it look like to be this financial planning software. So you're going to get able to log in. You're going to be able to create your financial goal plan, lifetime income plan, your asset allocation plan. You can see the snapshot gives you a snapshot of where you're at. Really powerful calculators, your budget that you have, and Yodlee is how you link all your financial accounts. And here, this is a sample plan. You're going to see your confidence zone where you're at. On the far left side, you input your goals, resources, your risk, asset allocation, your results. It'll give you executive summary, risk management, and give you a report. It'll tell you where you're at and what you need to do. And you can see the goals that we have, your needs, wishes, and wants. And that's what it's going to kick out for you. Super easy. All you need to do is just log in like once a month just to see where you're on the confidence zone after you do this. This is where it's so cool. So let's just say that you're at 40%, and on the far right, you're going to say, hey, I want to solve for 75%, 85, 90. You hit super solve, and it'll tell you what you need to do. You're going to retire later. Maybe your goals, you're going to increase your investing, or you're going to change your portfolio. It'll do all of that for you. So it's so simple. And again, you know exactly if you are going to retire comfortably, because this will tell you what your confidence zone is. Here's a play zone. Or let's just say, hey, I want to retire earlier. So you'll slide it. You can see from 67 down, let's say I want to retire 65. And then it'll tell you what happens and how your probability of success changes. Here is the what if. What if the market hits a big rough timing, right? So it says 99% confidence zone, but if you hit bear market, 2008 happens again, now you're going to be at 91%. So you can say to yourself, you know what? 2008 could happen again. I am okay. I don't need to worry. I don't need to sell or just start panicking, because I'm still okay at 91%. So that's what's so cool about this. Here's the biggest path to success and why you really should, get on this path and join the course. It's, by far, it's a clear-cut path to wealth and financial freedom. It has worked again and again, and it will work for you. The choices we make determine our success in all circumstances. So success or failure is based on us, not anyone else. So if you want to be on the path to success, not failure, failure is going to be doing nothing and letting your emotions get in the way. Go ahead, join the Smart Nation. You got the 2 options, 4 ways to pay for it, right? Which is really cool. 3 payments or a one-time payment. This is pennies. You know what? Just buy that mortgage thing, right? You just saved money there. And I gave it to you for free, but there's other things out there that in one decision, you will make up this money plus some. So I look forward to having you join the Smart Nation, and make sure that, you take advantage of this, because it will end shortly. Thanks a lot, and I look forward to joining you.